country, whether or not they're going to be able to have elections, and how this is all going to shake out. So it was important for American diplomats to go down to show their solidarity with the Haitian people, to make a face-to-face appearance, even if it ended with, you know, a bit of a scurry to the airport and a quick flight back to JBA here in DC.
Christina, you've also reported on some of the challenges Americans wanting to travel abroad are facing, from passport delays to varying levels of COVID restrictions. Is it getting any easier for Americans to fly and travel internationally?
If you have a valid passport, yes. If you don't have a valid passport, no, and it's going to suck for a little while longer. What happened is, so the passport agency was understaffed during COVID, and this backlog was already building when that happened. Then all these Americans got their vaccinations and decided, oh look, all these countries are letting us in, I want to travel. The problem is the passport agency still hadn't staffed up, the State Department is still behind, so now there's a backlog of about 2 million passports. The only way you could get that process expedited, because at the outset they're saying it could take up to 18 weeks to get that passport renewed. If you had an emergency or you had upcoming travel, you could go online to this online system, book an appointment 3 days in advance of your travel, and go in and get an expedited passport. They were so hard to get that these essentially scalpers were going online with bots, scooping up all of the appointments and then trying to sell them for thousands of dollars for profit. So the only way to stop that was the State Department shut that system down. Now you have to call an overburdened hotline, wait on hold for hours and hours and hope you can get through, or show up at will call at one of these passport offices. And we showed earlier this week there have been lines literally down the street. So if you don't have your passport, I would not plan on traveling this summer. You're probably not going to be able to get it until the fall. If your passport expires by the end of the year, it's a bit of a judgment call. You can wait and hold on to it and see if the State Department is able to whittle down that wait time and, you know, get it back to you within 8 weeks instead of 12 weeks, or you can mail it in. But if you have to leave the country, you're going to be out of luck because they're going to be holding on to it for quite a while.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you about the State Department's investigation into a mystery illness known as the Havana syndrome. New developments. What can you tell us about the latest reports coming out of Vienna?
So this is really, it's really concerning. It's really concerning to both diplomats and intelligence agents who keep reporting these unspecified neurological syndromes that they're kind of putting under the umbrella of Havana syndrome. And that's because the first place this was reported was in Cuba, was at the embassy in Havana. Now diplomats and intelligence officers in Vienna are reporting these same symptoms, headaches, you know, neurological problems speaking, ringing in their ears. It's really debilitating, and there are theories that it might be a targeted energy attack, that bad actors, other governments might be trying to sweep electronics, and this is just kind of a byproduct of that, or this could be an attack itself. The CIA and the State Department both say they've stepped up their investigations. They're looking into it. That's what they keep saying. They're investigating. They're supporting their people. But the CIA recently launched an investigation into the investigation, into past investigations, to see if they had done a good enough job of listening to the concerns of their employees, of taking this seriously, because it is a health concern. And people who've been interviewed by CBS and other agencies have said that it's, you know, no one was listening to them for months and months, especially when these symptoms were first reported, and it was really affecting their ability to do their work. Sometimes they were forced to resign, and they needed support from the U.S. government and didn't feel like they always got it. So now with more diplomats reporting more symptoms in other places, including Vienna, hopefully the State Department and the agencies will take it seriously, and we can get to the bottom of this at some point.
Still such a mystery. All right, Christina, thank you for covering the world with us in just a few minutes. Olympic health officials reported 10 new cases of COVID-19 on Sunday. That brings a total to 132 cases since athletes arrived in Tokyo last week. Sunday marked the second full day of events after the opening ceremonies. COVID protocols such as masking, social distancing, and fanless competitions have changed the tenure of this year's games. Typhoon Nepartak is expected to make landfall in Japan on Tuesday. Olympic officials have reworked the schedule for certain events as a precaution. Some rowing events were held early, while others were pushed back until later in the week. The storm could also impact other outdoor events such as surfing and softball. Thousands of people in the western United States are fleeing their homes, with dozens of wildfires tearing through several states. The Tamarack fire has spread from California to Nevada. Extreme drought and its location in the Sierra Nevada mountains have complicated firefighting efforts. The fire has now charred more than 100 square miles and is under 20% contained. The nation's largest fire